front just to do a quick search to confirm that nobody was in there. They made it about 5 feet inside the front door when the fire flashed, and actually had fire above them and all around them. So.
He also tells me they might not be able to determine the cause of the fire because the damage is too severe.
Take a look at this.
Yeah, it just happened about an hour ago at Bear Creek and Phyllis near Parkade and Garth. Officers responded to a chase. It's still unclear why the suspect, you can see right there that the canine takes that apparent suspect down. My goodness, it didn't take long for the police dogs to find him, as you just saw, after he was caught hiding in some bushes behind a house in the area.
You can see the SWAT truck pulling up to the home on Greensboro Drive. Officers had their weapons out as they went up to the home. The crisis negotiation team was also called in. We heard officers using the megaphone trying to talk to the man and get him to come out of the house. A Columbia police spokesperson tells me they were able to get a...
You can see that, like I said, this area is still closed off. Police say the shooting was in the middle of North Boulevard with multiple shooters. Now,
you can see underneath my feet here, I'm in about 6 inches of water right now, but on the other side, we're seeing right here, this is a parking lot. You can see there's about 1.5 to 2 feet of water just lining the entire parking. We continue running into roads like this that are just covered. This is a highway just covered with water. Now, it doesn't appear to be too deep.
Very high speed down the waters, I guess, thinking, they can get through with the speed, but the speed and the water current took it and it pushed them into the ditch. And so we just try to take them out. And
the same thing that they did yesterday. They were out in the Houston suburbs in that area where it's still flooded and people still need to be retrieved, rescued from their homes, evacuated from the area. That is what they were working with, the U.S. Marshal's Office operatives. They were working together to have their 6 boats out there on the water throughout the day. Now, I just got word.
Today, I am announcing that I will resign as governor of Missouri, effective Friday, June 1st at 5 p.m.
First 7 minutes on ABC 17 News at 5 tonight. A restaurant is now reopening after a semi-truck crashes into the building and goes up in flames. We'll tell you about today's fiery crash at the Olive Garden in Columbia.
We've also learned the volunteer firefighter who owned the home didn't actually live there. We're continuing to follow developments on this fire. We'll continue to bring you those on air and online as they come in.
Full vet for treatment. We do know no people were home at the time of the fire, and firefighters just minutes ago confirmed the fire caused about $25,000 in damage.
Any updates on his condition? This triple shooting happened just before 1 o'clock this afternoon on I-70 Drive Northwest near Garden.
This morning, ABC 17 News was on the scene as the Columbia Police SWAT team raided a home on Worley Street. 5 people were taken into custody but not arrested. No word yet on why police raided 2 apartments at 309 West Worley.
Very quickly, but there was a lot of smoke. Now, firefighters tell me that most apartments are completely totaled, but there are still a few that are still livable. Now, take a look at this video. This is what we also got this morning. We also saw a woman get put in handcuffs earlier this morning after not cooperating with the Sheriff's Department. The investigation is completed at this time, but I will be contacting the Sheriff's Department later on to see if we have any new updates about the victim.
Get an idea of the experience side locked and loaded to take on the role of a teacher defending a classroom of students.
Alpha! Alpha!
My objective was not only to hit the targets that instructor Fred Long was calling out, but to avoid hitting the targets marked with a small painted hand. Those represent innocent bystanders like students or faculty.
Charlie 9! All right, Charlie 15! Charlie 15!
What you're seeing behind me is law enforcement trainees studying how to clear a building, going from room to room, assessing and eliminating threats. Now, this is the same kind of training that faculty and administrators are going to undergo when they're training to become a state-certified school protection officer. Bomb threats.
Bomb in the building! Bomb in the building! Evacuate!
Hostage takers.
What do you need?
Get the back is what I need!
And active shooter situations. Students here at the Law Enforcement Training Institute at the University of Missouri are practicing to be prepared for anything.
And this summer, for the first time, these same techniques will be taught to school district designated personnel.
We are live at Columbia Regional Airport, where President Donald Trump is expected to be here in about an hour and a half.
Where it looks like Air Force One is basically going to just pull up and deliver the president to this crowd.
Barely shut down, but furloughed hundreds of workers, both in 2008 and in 2015. U.S. Steel brought back hundreds of those same workers the same week President Trump announced.
I did just speak with Republican Governor Mike Parson. I asked him how optimistic he was that Josh Hawley would be able to take the Senate seat. He said very optimistic.
This afternoon on 8th Street. No one was home when the fire started, but the next door neighbors were home at the time. They were not injured. The house sustained a large amount of smoke and fire and water damage.
Yes, Joey, students are in great spirits on campus today. This is a really exciting time for them. And the ones that I spoke to say they're prepared for the future.
The morning commute impacts this morning. I'm currently at that crash that Lindsay was talking about, where that semi-truck has completely blocked off all lanes of I-70. Here's what we're looking at right now. You can just see how much work they need to do in order for them to get the semi-truck out of the way. I have looked at traffic. Not one single vehicle has moved in the area.